It wasn't a victory, but how important after all that effort to come away with something today?
It was crucial, I think. We stuck well to the game plan. We got ahead 1-0, and then obviously Chelsea, they've got quality players, and then obviously equalised, and then they go on top. And it just shows our resilience. It shows what the club's about, the togetherness, which the gaffer's big on. And yeah, just credit to ourselves. Obviously, it wasn't a win, but it felt like a win, and we know how important it is to get these points.
You spoke about sticking to that game plan. What was it in the week you'd been working on in particular to nullify Chelsea's threat? Because for so long it did look like it was working.
Obviously, we know what their strengths are. They like to play in the pockets, they like to play and combine. They've got quality players, but we also know what our strengths are on the counter. We've got great players, great pace, and I thought we done really well today with using our attributes.
Watching on from the sidelines, though, did it feel as if Chelsea were coming back into it, particularly once they got that equaliser? Did it look as if the tide was turning?
Yeah, like in any other game, there's obviously moments. Each team has their moments, and obviously after their first goal, they had their moment. But we stuck well, and we defended really well. Queeve made an unbelievable save to keep us in the game, so yeah.
And then there was the opportunity right at the end with the set piece as well, something you clearly work on.
Exactly, you know, Brentford's big on set pieces, and yeah, we got a lot of goals, so it was good to just put it into practice, but we practice on the training pitch.
Is it as straightforward as it looks? Just put the big man on the near post and then you ghost in at the back?
It's not as easy as it looks, but obviously we train on it a lot, and yeah, God willing, I get in them positions again, and yeah, all glory to him.
When you say you train on it a lot as well, how much work does it actually take? How much of your sort of working week does it take with those set pieces?
It takes a lot, not just on the pitch, off the pitch as well. We do a lot of analysis and video, and we know what our strengths are. We've got a lot of big players who are good in the air, and we utilise it.
When you look at this result and the others you've had so far this season, does it feel there's an element of solidity about the team and that Keith Andrews is really making his mark?
Keith's making his mark, and with the help of all the staff as well, which is crucial. The team are really on board with what the plans he has, and if we stick together, we'll be more than fine, and we've got more than enough quality to do well this season.
Yeah, and when you compete with a side like Chelsea and their resources, and the fact that you have lost so many players as well, does it suggest that you're going to be okay?
I'm sure we'll be okay. We've lost a lot of crucial players, but we've also added some really good quality, and it shows from our bench today. Starting 11 was good, bench was good as well, and yes, as long as we stay together, we'll be fine.
And that's staying together as well. As you grow into the season as well, I imagine the new players as well get more into it and more a feel of what's going on?
100%. I feel like once we get momentum, we'll be good, and yeah, we'll be fine.
Well done on your goal today.
Thank you so much.
Top man. Cheers.
Well, let's take a look at his goal then, at Fábio Carvalho's equaliser, because as he said, it may look straightforward, but it's not as easy as it looks.
Well, he's got a lot of time to think about it, and I think that's the thing, Franco. And what happened is they've made a few substitutions at this point, Brentford, obviously trying to chase the game. He brings on Carvalho, he brings on Ayer as well, and then also with Coyote going off, who is throwing the ball into the box at such a height and pace. I didn't even realise they got another long throw in their mids with Sharda. But then what you do then is you lose someone that's very good in the air. Anyway, he launches this one into the box. You can see you've got Ayer there. And what happens as it develops is this is the key battle right here. Now, Garnacho has got a job to do. He's got to mark Carvalho. That's your job. Simple as that. Don't lose him. You're now one of the defensive players in here. If he gets in behind you, it's on you. Everybody else is trying to win that first contact. It's not easy. You know, Brentford have got some big guys, but Garnacho just falls asleep at the vital moment. Ball comes in, you can see from Sharda. Garnacho's not concentrating. They get that contact, and there he is at the back post. And he said it wasn't a difficult finish, but how tough are they, Franco?
The mistake is always the same. You start looking the ball. You look at the ball and you don't see the man. It's the man who's going to score the goal, not the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, so you have to keep an eye all the time, first on the man and then on the ball as well.
He nearly gets there, the goalkeeper. He gets a touch on it, but I think the relief from Carvalho, and you can see as he wheels away with pure delight.
And as you said, Jamie, the height of that ball makes it a much more difficult finish. I think that's what Fábio Carvalho was saying in his interview. It's not an easy finish, necessarily.
Well, it would have been for this guy.
I know,
It would have been
I'm asking the wrong person. This is
No, I think also they all know the importance of those last balls, and so a little bit of pressure might have come into his mind a little bit in that moment. But it was too easy.
But they were excellent today, and they deserved it. I thought the whole game plan worked, and throwing him on with 3 or 4 minutes to go. Well, I actually remember him doing the substitution, Keith Andrews, and I was thinking, this is going to be a tough one for him. Is he going to try and get involved? You know, obviously Chelsea like they're going to be comfortable for the last few minutes, and you never quite know how it's going to unfold. And it was a well-deserved point, and I'm looking forward to hearing what Jordan Henderson says about it.
Well, funnily enough, Jordan Henderson joins us live now from Brentford to talk through the game itself. Jordan, congratulations. Thanks so much for coming out to talk to us. What a way to get a point from that game.
Yeah, in the end it was nice. I thought it was, we left it a little bit late. I thought it would have been a bit harsh to lose the game, I think, with the effort the lads put in for the full game. So I think we got the rewards in the end with a point. But, you know, Chelsea are a top team, some world-class players. It was always going to be difficult, but I felt as though we made the game difficult. We had some decent chances, and in the end I feel as though that we deserved the point.
Yeah, the changes that they made at half-time looked like it made the game a lot more difficult for Brentford in the second half. But the game plan was there right from the beginning, and it was effective.
Yeah, I thought we were effective. Again, you're gonna be put under pressure a lot with Chelsea. That they've got world-class players, like you said, in half-time. They make 3 or 4 subs, like Cole Palmer and Reece James coming on, and players like that can change the game. And to be fair, they did inject some life into the game for them and made it even more difficult. And Cole's goal was brilliant. So that's the quality they have, but we try to limit that as much as possible. We try to make it difficult and try to take our chances when we had them. And I thought overall, like I say, we deserved the point.
Jordan, Jamie Redknapp, I'm going to say it, mate.
Jamie.
I thought you were magnificent today. I thought in midfield, you completely run the game from start to finish. Your energy, desire, your know-how, and one of the passes of the season. It must feel so good for you to be back in the Premier League.
Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate it. No, it is nice to be back playing at the highest level. You know, in the Premier League, it's the best league in the world. So to be back playing means a lot. And I just want to be grateful of the opportunity, really, to come back and try to show people that I can still play at the highest level. And tonight, and obviously when I've been with the national team as well. So. Yeah, I feel fit, I feel good, and I just want to keep trying to enjoy my football and try to show people that I can still help the team going forward.
Jordan, hopefully you've got a screen there. I want to talk to you about the goal. Gianfranco and I were waxing at your pass at half-time. It felt to me you saw it early. You had a couple of scans and you knew that this pass was on.
Yeah, I checked my shoulder just before, I think, just to see where Kevin was. And I know that if I can get the ball into him to create a 1v1 situation for him, then he can be deadly in that situation like he was. So it's a fantastic run. When he knew when I picked it up, he was off. And then, when he gets in that position, he's so good to go inside on his right foot and finish. So it was a fantastic goal from him.
Jordan, there was a proper, by the way, there was a proper number 10. Congratulations for that. No, I was wondering whether when did you decide to make the pass? On the first look or on the second look? Because you had the first look, then look at the ball.
Yeah, I was just checking on the first time in case I got it, just to see where Kevin was. As soon as if Matty did it, I didn't think Matty was going to give us it. I didn't think he'd seen us. But when I did get it, I checked again, and then I could see him go, and then I knew I could play it straight away because the high line, and like I say, if I could get him in a 1v1 situation, then I know how it can be, and it was a fantastic finish from him, and I thought he was brilliant all game.
Yeah, I thought that there was a fantastic connection between him and the striker, because as soon as he saw that you received the ball, he went on the move. So that is a kind of very, very good understanding.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's a player that likes to run in behind. And if you get him in the right situations, he's proven last season as well that he can score goals. And that's important for us, especially when you're playing a team against Chelsea. You might be low block for a lot of the game and you have to defend and limit their chances. But when you get the chance to go forward, someone like Kevin gives you that pace going forward and can really stretch teams like he did there. And I thought him and Thiago worked really well together tonight.
Jordan, just another question just about Brentford. When you obviously first met the manager, the owners of the club, how difficult a decision was it for you? Or was it an easy one?
I think it was a pretty easy decision once I'd met the manager and the owners, the directors and things like that. I just thought, you know, how well the club's been run over the last few years, the opportunity to come back to the Premier League, but overall just how there was people, really, just good people, genuine people that felt as though I could come in and help the team. In a summer of change, really, there's been a lot of change and it's been quite difficult. So I thought it was a good opportunity for for me, and they've helped me a lot since I've been here. So I'm just trying to be grateful for the opportunity that they've given us and try to repay them with some good performances to try and help the team, really.
And also, it's a club that sort of prides itself on its technical football and an intelligent type of football and attention to detail. Is that something that you feel that you fit into, that suits you?
Yeah, I think, like I said, there's been a lot of change over the summer, so I still feel as though we're creating, the manager keeps saying, we're creating the foundations for us as a team and finding our own identity again because of how much change there has been. But there's been some good games where I feel as though we have shown that and shown the character within the team, and how hard the lads work for each other, I think, is a big bonus. And you get your rewards in football when you work as hard as they did tonight, like you see in the last few minutes to get the equaliser. They kept going. And I think that's a big part in football. Yes, we can improve. Yes, we can be better, especially with the ball, and getting it and creating more chances going forward. But yeah, you can't have everything. You need to keep working on the training field. You need to keep improving on the things that we can be better at, but keeping the fundamentals and keeping the foundations to be hard to beat, and try to make it difficult for every team we play every week.
Well, Jordan, I know you said your energy levels are still high despite being away on international duty this week, but we're not going to keep you any longer. We're going to let you go and recover. So thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Jordan.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks, Jordan. Jamie, you were really impressed with his performance and the way that you felt that he ran the game from midfield and controlled it, particularly, and he alluded to it there, and we'll talk to Keith Andrews about it later on, in a summer where they have lost really big players. How important is he on the pitch, off the pitch, and in terms of how he communicates as well?
For everybody at that club, to be around Jordan Henderson and just to learn and extract anything you can from him. If I was at that club, I'd be watching everything that he does, how he trains, what he eats, all the important things that make him the footballer. Everyone talks about when Franco came to Chelsea, that he changed everybody's diet. Everyone just wanted to play football like him. And I think it's the same for every academy kid or every under 21 B team player. He has done it all. He's won everything in the game. And I think he's such a great leader. You can see now the value that he possesses, because even Thomas Tuchel still picking him for England. When everybody said, why are you still picking Jordan Henderson? Anybody that doubts it, if you haven't watched that game tonight and realised what he brings to a football team, you know, you're obviously missing the point, because I thought he was absolutely magnificent today, and he's a leader, and they're so hard to find now, Kelly, leaders that just do the right thing. When you can't buy experience, but normally with experience, people lose their legs, maybe have the ability to run anymore. But where he's very fortunate, he can still compete, he can still run. I bet his stats have probably ran 12K tonight, whatever it is. One of the highest athletes on the pitch would have probably run 12, 13K. I bet his numbers are up there like that. And obviously the goal, Franco, was just, as you said, a fantastic piece of play. I just want to talk about a couple of things before I pass it on to you, because I think this is a brilliant piece of defending as well by Coyote, number 33. Look at that, how he defends the back post. Then they win the next contact. Then Thiago does ever so well. And then once Matthias Jensen passes that ball back into him, and I want to now give it to you, Shep, because I thought you asked a great question there, Franco, because you talk about nowadays with scanning. Just keep your eye, can you see my hand? Yeah, look at Jordan Henderson. He has two looks, doesn't he?
He has the first look here. That's why I asked him if he had already decided. But I believe that he gave me the answer. He knows that Shade is very good in the run. He loves running behind the defense. So he knew already that he was connecting with him.
Yeah.
And as soon as Jordan received the ball, he's on the move. Yeah. You can see.
So this is him here. He
knows, you can see. There is a connection.
Yeah, and he knows that there's a lot of grass there. The fullback's not coming in. Tosin's got a problem because he's probably thinking, you can see in his body shape, he wants to run this way. So maybe that space is going to go in behind him. And then he's got a lot of grass. He's a brilliant athlete as well, isn't he, Franco?
But it's now I'm going back in my time, and when I play with Jimmy Floyd. Jimmy Floyd used to like and run behind the defenders, okay? So every time I got the ball, he was already in the move because I knew I was going to have a look to him and try to set a ball for him. Yeah. And it was the same I saw here. There was a connection between him and Jordan because he knows Jordan can deliver a good ball and he can run. So
let me say, so if another player maybe had been on the ball, no disrespect, that didn't have your football IQ, would Jimmy Floyd maybe not have made that run?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. It's not funny. You're too humble, Franco.
No, I think Jimmy was very good. I mean,
but his eyes lit up when you had the ball. Would you say that? He knew that you could
he knew that I could provide that pass.
Yeah.
But again, it's for me, I always said that it's not who gives the pass, but who detects the pass that makes the difference. Because when you have somebody that, like Shade, makes that kind of run, then it's easy for you to deliver a good ball.
Because both of us, when we saw the pass, we were both like off our feet going, that's what you want to come to football and see. Because it was he saw it, he delivered it. You know, can you execute? It's not always easy, but it also helps when you look at the number 7 that's running away and you see that pace that he's got. Because you was impressive in tonight, Shada, wasn't you?
No, it was very good. I think that the guy, like you said before, he has a lot of potentials. He hasn't reached his full potential yet. He needs to improve a couple of things, but you can see that he can do very good things. A
player we spoke about as well, Franco, one of the best, I think. You know, it reminds me at times of you, was the introduction of this Cole Palmer. He was involved. And we talk so much now about scanning. And I want to ask, because his head is pretty much on a swivel here, Franco. Just keep your eye on him. How many times he just turns his head just to see where the ball is, who's going to close him down. Look, 2, 3, 4, like... He's always looking at the picture. 5. That's something you have to be aware of, Franco.
No, absolutely. Especially a player like him that is always very marked. He's always got one player or 2 players that are looking after him. The ability to look before you receive the ball and to know before you receive the ball what to do with it makes a big difference.
And how hard's that finish, Franco? Because he makes it look so easy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said before. I mean, it seems easy, but it's not. The way he delivered, the calm that he had on the ball, and the way he delivered the ball in the corner, it shows the quality of these players.
Yeah, and he's so important to Chelsea.
Well, he's become so efficient.
This is a nice angle, Franco. You can see him here. He gets as it falls to him. He just takes the pace out of it. Just caresses it.
Look how calm he is on the ball and how he delivers it is really class. But what I was saying is, I've seen. It seems to me that these players become so efficient in everything he does. He always maximizes everything he does. Either is a finish pass, is always well thought at the proper one to do. So he's growing up so fast. I'm very impressed with him.
So they make those changes at half-time. They go level through Cole Palmer, and they almost went in front through Cole Palmer. And this one was a little less characteristic of him.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it's great goalkeeping. It's a little bit of both, isn't it? Brilliant goalkeeping.
Great goalkeeping because he anticipated. He knew the ball was going there and he moved before, so he was very good. Look at him. Look. The goalkeeper has been brilliant.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think he's been a great signing for Brentford. Koeman's got he's just such a calm goalkeeper. He's very much like Alisson. He's obviously learnt from one of the best. But he's very good at just anticipating and reading it. Do you think maybe he just tries to open his left foot up there, doesn't he? Just perhaps doesn't guide it into the corner enough?
Well, I think looking from behind, I think Cole did exactly what he had to do. He delivered a ball and he was also a very good shot. The only thing is that the goalkeeper anticipated that and he closed completely the goal.
Yeah, and when we talk about the players who've gone out, obviously Quavin Kelleher's come in as in goal and has made, given them a sort of sense of reassurance as well.
Yeah.
Moises Caicedo with the goal that put Chelsea in front in this game, and this was some strike.
Great, and obviously Garnacho, we mentioned the fault for the goal, but this is what we want to see from him.
I think the number gave him a little bit of extra quality in the finishing.
Yeah.
No,
this is your number, Franco. Yeah, it's one of your strikes.
I think Caicedo has grown up a lot. We know how important he is defending, but in the last year and a half, also he's got better also finishing.
Yeah.
It's not the first important goal that he scores.
It's a pure strike.
Pure strike.
And Kevin Schade, just take wait, because it's one that he doesn't quite anticipate that the ball's going to come out there, and what he does, he almost like just waits and just sit. Then he goes again, and if he had probably just run, he might have just been able to get the block on it, but he just gives Caicedo enough time to sort of reset himself and then hit that strike. And you can see the keeper sees it so late. It goes through Collins, Aya, there's that sort of door that you can't quite get across if you're the goalkeeper. And then and you could see how despondent Brentford were. Well, I honestly thought that's the end of that, and that's so harsh on them because they'd played so hard, they'd worked for every single second. And that was one of those. It was just a punch on the nose they didn't deserve. But
even Rob Green in commentary said you could see from his his footwork, it was those little tiny steps towards the corner, and he did everything he could, except it was just a great strike. And just reward for Chelsea because they looked like a different side in the second half.
Yeah, in the second half, before they got the goal, we were just talking and we saw how they were getting more balls, they were controlling more balls, but also they were creating chances. So they were really putting a lot of pressure. They play very well, in my opinion, in the second half. But, fair enough to say that Brentford, despite all the doubts that we had at the beginning because of the change of manager, a lot of players that left, but they show resilience and organization. I mean, they did everything they had to do to stay in the game, and they got what they deserved.
I must admit, I didn't like the team he picked first half. The manager for Chelsea. I felt that the two fullbacks, one making his, I think, was his full Premier League debut, and from Leicester, what's his name?
Had to.
No, not Hatu, and the other one. No, from the right back. Sorry,
Fofana.
Sorry, my mind. It's getting late.
Do you know, you've done that all day.
I know,
you keep getting,
I know, and I should know.
It's a mental block.
No, but Fofana is predominantly a centre-back.
Yeah,
he played 3 or 4 games there at right-back. Like, he doesn't, I think for him, being out injured as long as he has, to go and ask a player to go and play right-back, and especially at a place like Brentford where it's fast, it's furious, he got booked early, Haito, and he found it really difficult, and Fofana at right-back, and we all go, oh, great, he's changed it, he's changed the game. Well, he got it wrong in the first half. He shouldn't have made that mistake. And I think you give yourself a problem there because I felt that he didn't pick the right team.
I wonder if some of the choices they are detected by all the games that they need to play because next week they are playing Bayern and there will be a tough
international
match.
As well.
Well, he said that as a few players coming back from international duty.
I think you can get away with one. I just think when you change both full-backs like that and you don't play one, especially for Fofana that's not predominantly a right-back, I think he just took a risk and it didn't work first half. But second half, when you're bringing on the players that you can change it.
And they did turn it around to 2-1, but ended up drawing 2-2 with Brentford. So what did Enzo Maresca make of it? He's with Johnny.
Enzo, how do you reflect on the performance and result?
We knew that it was a tough game. First half, we struggled to find solution. We struggled to find the space because they were defending very good, well organized. I think second half we were much better. But yeah, it's a shame because we conceded just in 93, 94 minutes, and we could manage a little bit better that moment.
The first goal was a long ball over the top as well. Do you feel that was quite avoidable?
Against this kind of team, you have to be able to avoid transition and to avoid the set pieces. They score from transition and from set pieces. It's something that, as I said, I think we deal quite well during the game, but then at the end we concede that goal and it's a shame.
You made significant changes at half-time. What was it you feel you needed to do differently in the second half?
No, West Fofana, we planned 45 minutes for him because he was out for a long time. Then Ato and Buonanotte, something similar. Ato is coming from different country, different league, he needs to adapt. And Buonanotte in the last period has not been great for him because, knowing that he has to go somewhere. But overall, they were okay.
It made a difference, though. Were you pleased with the way that your team grew into the game and started to create more after that?
Yeah, I think second half we were much better. We deserve, I think we deserve to win the game second half, but it's a shame we lost 2 points.
Cole Palmer's introduction made a big difference. He got his goal, but there was also another big chance after that for him too. Yeah,
absolutely. Long time, almost 3 weeks out for him. We know how good he is. We know that he is going to help us, and was very good when he was inside.
Once you went ahead, do you feel there is anything differently you could have done to protect that lead?
Manage better the moment. I think we could keep a little bit better the ball, even if we score I think 86, 87, and with 6 minutes extra time, we need to manage better that moment.
It was a big crowd in the box for the long throw, which Brentford equalised from. Did you have any complaints about that equaliser? Was something you're unhappy with?
No. I think we deal quite well during the game with set pieces, unless probably the goal we concede.
Are some balls like that just almost impossible to defend against when there are that many numbers in there?
No, but especially when they have so many players that they can do that. You know, Coyote can do that, Jensen can do that, Pinnock can do that, and then at the end the Schade. So they have so many players.
Before that, there were 1 or 2 important saves from Robert Sanchez as well. What did you think of his performance as a whole?
And from Keller too. So I think keeper they are there to try to help the team to make save, and I think both keeper they did tonight.
It begins an important run of fixtures for you now. It's going to be really busy and testing for the squad. What shape are you in as a whole?
But it's for us, it's for everyone. Now we start to play every 3 days, so for everyone it's a busy moment.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Enzo.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
He mentioned the goalkeepers there and said, look, that's what they're there to do, is to make the saves. But Sanchez has had quite a few critics, so good for him to have a good game in which there were a couple of important saves.
No, I'm pleased for him actually, because it's true sometimes he's made mistakes that have been very costly, but I think he's coming back strong. And today as well, a couple of saves, they were very good. So I'm pleased because goalkeeper is such an important player for the team. You know, it gives security and confidence to all the defense, and consequently to the whole team. So glad that it is happening.
And particularly when you've gotten behind a defence that's had a lot of changes in it as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think, yeah, when you have a lot of new players in defence, obviously you have a goalkeeper that can save some mistakes is vital. But in every team, I mean, if I look back, all the best teams in history, they always had a great goalkeeper, and I know because it gives a lot to the team.
Yeah, and it was a really good performance from Sanchez, and he has had a lot of critics in the past, Jamie. But this wasn't a game where you could fault him really.
No, and I guess it must have given him a lot of confidence because there's been a lot of keepers, a lot of movement this summer. They've backed him. You know, that's the best. That's the most important thing. They could have signed somebody else. They could have maybe tried to got Donnarumma. They could have gone for lots of other keepers that were on the market. But they've said, you know what, we are going to trust him. I know he's worked goalkeeping coach there. He has got tremendous athleticism. He's got a lot of great attributes. It's just every now and again it just feels like a little bit of a concentration issue. But if he can get that right, you can see the saves he makes. He's a brilliant athlete and he makes great saves.
So 2-2, it finished at the GTEC. Keith Andrews joins us live from the GTEC Community Stadium right now. Keith, obviously there's the huge celebration when the goal goes in from Fábio Carvalho. Now you've had a little bit of time to reflect. What are your thoughts on the result?
I thought it was one we deserved. I thought the way we approached the game was with bravery, with courage, in a way where we wanted to make the game very difficult for them, play the game in certain areas where we knew they didn't want to play. First half, I thought we were excellent at that. Second half, naturally, with players that they have coming off the bench, it's always going to prove difficult. They're always going to get a grip of a game to a certain degree. But I thought we came through that a little bit. I was disappointed the way we conceded maybe, but then ultimately the courage and the relentlessness to come back into the game and the full use of the squad for us was on show tonight.
You talked about before the game setting up with that back three and that being the best way you felt to approach the game against Chelsea, and there were a lot of long, I'm not going to say long balls, I'm going to say long passes in the game itself, and actually it was one of them from Jordan Henderson that led to the opening goal. Why do you think that approach was so effective?
They're a very good pressing team. The way they look to get after you in your own half, I think they're very good at it. In the first half, I felt we caused them problems by flipping between a 3 and a 4. Used our goalkeeper quite well to engage the opposition, bounce around them in it. But ultimately, once you draw them out of positions with the type of forwards that we have, and naturally, centre-halves now aren't particularly used to playing against 2 centre-forwards, so we wanted to play with our 2 centre-forwards and then join in from that. And then it's up to the players to make those decisions ultimately on the pitch. And I think Jordan in particular, with the assist, did it really well. We found a way out of pressure, found a really precise pass, which the lads in the studio would have been happy with. And Kevin did what Kevin has done pretty often for us over the last year or so, he's going to be a big player for us.
Keith, Jamie Redknapp, congratulations. Did that first goal epitomise everything that was good about your team today? And I'm talking about, first of all, the back post header by Coyote. Then you win the first contact with Matthias Jensen, who slides it into Thiago, who does great to just keep it alive for the team. And then once Jordan has it, as you say, fantastic pass and a great finish as well by Kevin Schade.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jamie. I think it's spot on. The nature of a team like Chelsea, they're going to force you back into areas. You've got to defend your box well. You've got to be organised. The structure's got to be good. But then ultimately, you need to throw punches. You need to make it uncomfortable for them. You need to take care of the ball. Thiago will always do that. He holds the ball up really well, and then you want to join in. And then ultimately, Kev playing a little bit higher to try and expose them on transitions. And yeah, in that scenario, it worked out really well.
Jordan Henderson, has he... Because I must admit, when he went to Saudi and then obviously he went to Ajax and it didn't quite work out the way that he wanted, he's come to you. Are even you surprised how well he's done? Because I thought he was magnificent today.
Not really, Jamie. Christian Norgard left in the summer, and naturally that was a huge void for us because he was the captain, he was the glue in midfield, knows the game, and you know what it's like in the central areas. Sometimes it's not what you're told to do. It's just that knack of being in the right position and leading the team, leading by example. Jordan, I became aware of he might be available. Had a couple of conversations with him, struck up a good rapport with him, explained what I felt his role would be within the team, and then for him to come to a club like this and play a big part as an experienced player to nurture some of our younger players, because we have got a young squad. We've got a young midfield, the likes of Yarmouk in there, that he will benefit so much from playing alongside Jordan. So he hasn't surprised me, but equally I've been really, really pleased with his performances.
Hi Keith, it's Gianfranco Zola. No, just congratulations. Congratulations. We had doubts because of the number of players, important players that they left the club, how the team could do. But we all spend a lot of compliment words to your team because they did very well. They stood up to, in my opinion, a very good team as Chelsea is. And they came out with a good result in a difficult situation. Well deserved. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gianfranco. I appreciate that. It means a lot. I'm aware of the narrative around the club, and naturally, when top players leave the building, which they have, it naturally creates a little bit of uncertainty. I've been pretty comfortable with the way the club has gone and the decisions that have been made because it's so well run. And I think what happens at this club is when you look at certain players, like Mikel Damsgaard, who unfortunately wasn't available today, he had an illness overnight. He wasn't the Mikel of 12, 18 months ago, but because you have the environment to work in on a day-to-day basis to develop patient environment, supportive environment, players are allowed to grow and they have that time to do it. And I know there's a lot of players in this building ready to go. Fábio Carvalho being one of them, who's probably been unlucky not to play more minutes, very talented player that will always score goals. So there's a lot of talent in this building. And for us, I think it's more about just building a new team and those relationships. As you both know, it takes a little bit of time to build those relationships and rapport and that know-how of what your teammate's going to do, your midfield partner or your centre-back partner. But we're getting there.
And Keith, even as you make the point about being happy with the squad that you have, it was a big summer in terms of the captain Christian Norgard going, all the goals of Mbeumo and Wissa going, no Mikel Damsgaard, as you pointed out today either. But is this a team, and you mentioned it being a team that's kind of growing, is this a team that has a lot of developing to do still over the course of this season? We're only 4 games in.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Kelly. Naturally, it's a younger squad. It's kind of, you take a step back to dust yourself down and work out what you've got. I'm so glad the window's closed, I must admit that, to know who's going to be in the building and what we've got to work with. But I have said to the players after the game, that it's the strongest bench I've seen at this club in the last 15 months since I've been at the club. It really is. It was difficult to pick the squad. I had to leave Anthony Malambo out of the squad, who the club paid a lot of money for in the summer, Dutch under 21 international. We've got a lot of talent. And I think when you're building a new team, I think for me, what some coaches can get carried away with is the beautiful game. For me, it's about foundations, and you can't build a nice house and put windows in first. We have to get the foundations in, and I think we've been doing that pretty well over the last few months in terms of what this club is about, what will make it successful going forward, and then we can always add layers to that.
Keith, I appreciate it's getting late, so thanks so much for coming out to talk to us.
Pleasure. Take care. All the best.
Cheers, Keith.
Thank you very much. And really interesting to hear Keith Andrews talk about the development of that side, because it did look bumpy on that first day of the season with the defeat by Nottingham Forest, who kind of, for various reasons, drifted away as the season has gone on. But there's some, and then the defeat by Sunderland, but there's some good performances in there as well. That a young side will be variable.
You know, a couple of things that he said, it touched me a lot, because I totally believe in him. You know, we set an environment where people, they know they can grow, people they can get better, and that is something that I totally believe. Now, I work with the Italian Federation now with the third league, and we are trying to establish this type of mentality with the clubs. If you really are create an environment that it helps the players to get the best out of them, you can really make very good things. And I think Brentford is one of those good examples for us.
Yeah. I think you're spot on, Franco, and especially you mentioned how difficult it is. What he was thrown at the start of the year with lots of players, important players leaving, your captain and the two forwards that were just goals every single week or assists. To be thrown that if you're Pep Guardiola would be difficult, let alone your first job, you know, your first managerial job. It was never going to be easy, but I think he's so settled. You can see he's obviously an intelligent guy, he knows the game, and he's very calm and assured. And only rub off on the players. And I think the way they performed today, they showed that they're going to be a really good team that are going to develop and get stronger. And no doubt, they've always got contingency plans there. They know what their targets will be next. They do everything on, you know, the scientific side of the game, the data, making sure they're bringing in the right players. They're probably already at the club and they're ready to play at some point. So as he says, it's a well-run club. And he'll be delighted with that, because that feels like one of those points you're just going to calm everything down. And it was such an important one. But it wasn't just the point that was important, it was the manner in which they played, which I was really impressed with.
And of course, he was heavily involved in set pieces last season. And that's now 7 goals from corners that Brentford have scored since the start of last season. And that's the next one along the list is 2. Exactly. So which just shows you how
I'd have said, Kelly, many years ago, just try to play football like Franco Zola. Now what I'd say is learn how to throw the ball a long way.
Learn to be Dave Challoner.
Just launch the ball.
Everybody wants to go up to be Dave Challoner these days.
Stoppage time drama at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Chelsea thought Moses Caicedo's screamer had sealed all 3 points, but Brentford had other ideas. Let's break down a thrilling 2-2 draw between the Bees and the Blues. First half. Brentford struck first in the 35th minute. Jordan Henderson picked his head up and clipped a perfect ball over Tosin. Shade raced onto it, cut inside, and slotted into the bottom corner. 1 chance, 1 goal, Brentford 1-0. Until then, neither side had shown much quality in the final third. Second half, Chelsea fight back. Chelsea turned to Cole Palmer after the break, and their talisman made an instant impact. Pedro battled to win a header, nodded it into Palmer's path, and he made no mistake, 1-1, his first goal of the season. Then came the moment of magic. With just minutes to play, a Brentford clearance dropped to Moses Caicedo. He caught it flush, and the ball rocketed past Callagher. A stunning strike to make it 2-1 Chelsea. Late drama, but Brentford refused to roll over. In stoppage time, their trademark long throw created chaos. Shade launched it in, Aja flicked it on, and Carvalho popped up unmarked at the back post to tap home. Bedlam inside the G-Tech, and Brentford rescued a point at the death. Full time, Brentford 2, Chelsea 2. For Enzo Maresca, it feels like 2 points dropped after Caicedo's wonder goal. For Brentford, it's proof once again that they are a side who fight until the final whistle. What do you think? Is this a setback for Chelsea's top 4 hopes, or a valuable draw on the road?